Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the One of Us podcast. Today we're going to be doing a tier list, a really fun tier list actually, of the top 30 most mainstream, stereotypical Christian things, some Christianese in there, and we're going to be seeing what our opinions are on these things. And stay tuned because I think there are going to be some things that you're going to find really hilarious. Juan is going to be the tier list guru and lead us up in this one.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is kind of funny. I'm really glad we're doing another tier list. I know we did one really early on, and it was received really well by the fans, and it's just going to be funny. This tier list is kind of on the trending note because so many people are talking about kind of that American cultural Christian, how you say, standards or I guess habits that they do. So I'm just curious before we go into the ranking system, what do you guys think is going to be on that tier list?
Okay, you just got saved. You memorized John 3:16. And then you watch Facing the Giants. And then
and then you listen to the song Oceans.
That's a good one, Vic.
That's kind of funny. Tati, what do you think?
I'm definitely thinking about putting your hand up during worship.
Dang.
Or being super extra and going on your knees.
Hey, that's fun. Okay, wait. How long did it take you guys to go from just standing straight in worship to maybe putting your hands kind of by your hips, then maybe your hands are above your elbows, and then they're up in the air?
It was a slow progression for me.
At first I didn't get it, but then when I understood it, I never stopped.
Since day one.
I think another thing is the stereotypical getting a cross tattoo or getting John 3:16 tattooed, but that's like an extreme version.
Or God is above my ups and downs. That
God is greater than the highs and lows.
Okay, I will say this.
Yeah.
That was in the top 50. That was in the top 50, but it didn't make it into the top 30.
I have never heard anybody say it like that.
It's because I was thinking it in math terms.
Did you say greater than or equals to?
Yeah, I said greater than.
All the ups and downs.
No, exponent and underscore.
So the quadratic formula of negative b plus or minus the square root. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, so what do you guys think so far just looking at everything? What's going through your guys' heads?
Is Narnia on there?
It didn't make it into the top 50.
Some of these I've never watched Facing Giants, by the way.
First of all,
whoa. Why are we spoiling?
I know, I've never watched it before. I never even heard of it.
Maybe we'll do that right after this.
All right, guys. So we're just going to jump straight into it. Not in no particular order, right? But the first, I guess, event or trendy item that Christians do when they're first saved is obviously attend a weekly Bible study. How would you guys rank that?
Superior.
S tier for sure.
S tier. I feel like
yeah,
all
S tier. You're right. Why is it S tier though? Why isn't that like A tier?
Because it's 100% necessary.
You can't ask the people from this podcast when our entire podcast is about community. Of course, we're going to put joining fellowship and community in S tier.
So you're saying we have a conflict of interest?
Yes, we're definitely biased, but in a good way.
And that's how most of us met.
True. Okay, the second one, I wonder what you guys are going to think. It's having a 3 a.m. cry/prayer fest about your life.
Okay, can we narrow that down? Is it like, are we on a retreat? And
no, it's like, when you're
are we
first
just
saved,
by ourselves, home
by
alone?
yourself in your room. Yeah, home alone. Like you just got saved and you just sort of like praying, and like you're just hitting that one prayer so deep in the middle of the night, and you're just like start crying.
But it's not the middle of the night. It's 3 a.m. That's a little concerning. I'm gonna say B tier.
Yeah, I was gonna say B or C tier. I don't like crying. The only acceptable one that I would do
Crying is a
crying
sign
at
of
worship.
weakness.
Whoa, Jesus wept.
My eyes, listen, my eyes puff up. I rather have
I'll say I'm pretty
another
biased
moment.
and I'll go straight to S tier. But if you guys think it's B tier, I'm down to meet you guys at A.
No, I think B.
Okay, B it is. I got outvoted, guys.
Retreat cries are an S tier.
Those are definitely S tier, which is why I was asking. So, but if you're by
Retreat
yourself,
cries.
B tier. And at 3 a.m, there's definitely you got
Hey,
some
you
mad
never know.
spiritual warfare going on at 3 a.m.
That's why. That's where the victory is won.
No, that would make me mad. I'm like, whatever freaking spiritual thing woke me up at 3 a.m. I'm going back to sleep. This is ridiculous. Do not wake me up when I have work in the morning.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys. Next one is downloading the YouVersion Bible on your phone. And typically, statistically, most people who just converted to Christianity mainly use an app version of the Bible. So what tier list is this?
I'm going to say A, just because you can also just have the actual Bible and have like a study Bible or like something like that as well. But
I was going to say
the
A
YouVersion
too.
is 10 out of 10. That's why it's A tier. But
Actually, I was going to say B tier.
really? Okay.
Well, I'm saying B tier because I think it's actually better to have like the physical Bible like in paper because it kind of forces you to try and I don't know, it just like kind of gets you more interactive with the word and also like journaling. I know that like YouVersion has that as well as other sources of community on it, but I think that I don't know when you read the Bible, maybe I'm just a little old school, it hits different. But the reason I gave it a B and not a C is because they also have great devotionals that you can do with friends.
Something that I'll do is I'll start a plan on the YouVersion, but when it goes to the part where you actually have to read the passage of scripture, I go to my actual physical Bible and I'll read it on there because I like to highlight and underline and read my little commentary that's on there. So it definitely is great, though, to be able to do it with other people and keep each other accountable that way as well.
I agree. So we're all going to B tier. Final thoughts, B tier.
I vote A. Tati?
Tati, you're a tiebreaker.
I was also thinking A.
Juan, A.
Sheesh. A it is.
Juan's being
I feel like we're gonna get struck
outnumbered.
down for trying to put the Bible app on like B tier.
Whoa. I'm just saying physical Bible over. Okay. The next one is actually going on a straight fast, like water only, for a handful of days. It's, I guess, a common practice that when you're recently saved that you just get curious and you want to see how it is to actually fast like Jesus. Obviously, you need to drink water, so most people go on a water fast for an extended period of time.
I remember we actually did this for 24 hours, Tati and Vic, the three of us. Do you guys remember?
The longest I've done is 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're a
did
little
this,
too much.
and
Dang, Tati.
I remember I went to work because I was working campus escort at that time, and my coworker bought chicken nuggets, and I accidentally ate one.
It was the Dino Nuggies that did you
It
in.
really was. It really was. Juan, why don't you share your experience? You've done this before.
Yeah, but I think the longest I've ever done was like 5 days. I did it actually, it's kind of funny. So I used to be, I forget what group it was in high school, but it was like a humanitarian aid group. And in this humanitarian aid group, we would like fast because I don't even know what it was, but I wasn't saved at the time. So I technically did fast, but I guess actually it doesn't constitute as fasting. So no, never mind. I've just starved myself for 5 days.
No, but you fasted in the face before.
I fasted in the faith. I think the longest I've ever done was like 2 days, 3 days straight. There's this one really funny story where I was fasting for 2 days and then my friend Arturo was like, hey, let's go on a hike. And I said, okay, I'm down. And I thought he said that we were just going to go hike some common trail in Reno. But actually, he wanted to hike the summit of Mount Rose, which isn't like the craziest of hikes. But imagine not eating for 2 days and going on like a 5 or 6 hour trek through the wilderness. So basically, I couldn't make it to the top. I kind of collapsed almost to the summit. But my friend Declan pulled a clutch and carried me all the way to the top.
Okay, so I remember that day because I worked at Jimmy John's at the time, and you guys came to visit me at Jimmy John's to get a sandwich. And I remember Arturo was PO'd, and he goes, I'm making Juan eat this right now. I was like, okay.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, honestly, fasting it's supposed to be hard and bring you close to God. So due to its difficulty, I'm gonna give it to C tier because I feel like you want to do it also in a group of friends to hold you accountable.
I say C. It is hard. It is hard, especially when you don't want to explain to someone that you're fasting, and then they just keep like asking, "Why aren't you eating?"
Okay, the next one is watching DreamWorks Prince of Egypt.
S tier.
S tier. I love that movie. I get sad every time they take it off Netflix.
Dude, I cry every time. And even like my grandma and other people in my life that are not believers that we're like ministering to watch that movie with them, it does something to you. You're just like, wow, like God is so big. I feel like that's what you get after watching the movie.
It's the music and then the scene where they part the Red Sea. Oh my gosh. Yeah, put that thing in S tier. No doubt about it. It's beautiful.
It's not 100% biblically accurate, I think,
Well,
right? Because Moses isn't like 90 and Aaron isn't speaking. And
True.
also that scene where they split the Red Sea, he doesn't put his staff in the sea, he just puts his hand over the sea and it splits.
True, but remember, it is a child's movie.
True, 10 out of 10 for creative license, not gonna lie. I'm gonna say A tier, but since I got voted, I'll put it in S tier only because we need to bring back movies like that for kids.
Ah, amen. They have Joseph King of Dreams, which was another really great one, but they just
I
stopped
like that one
there.
too.
I'm excited for that new The Life of David cartoon that they're trying to do.
Okay, guys, the next one is actually having kind of like a cafe spot to do your reading or a cafe / restaurant meetup with your friends after church.
I feel like we used to do that all the time. We'd go and eat after church together, just as a part of like a community thing. I really enjoyed that. I think finding a little cute spot to read. I'm a out of the house productive person. Like if I want to read or really just get in it, I need to step out of the house to not be distracted. So I'm someone that really utilizes coffee shops, cafes and things like that. So I'm a big fan.
I'm gonna go straight B tier because it's a hit or miss. Like sometimes it's like really good, but sometimes I'm like, I spent so much time getting here, I could have used that time at home.
I think it's an A tier. I think when you're at church, since you're like mainly there for like the service and stuff, you don't spend a lot of time in fellowship. So I really like that aftermath and also intentional time of doing a Bible study.
I respect. Okay, so Crystal and Vic, it's between an A and a B.
I'm gonna say A.
Oof. That's bad because I feel like I was going to say B. So who ties it up? Fine, I'll say
Yeah. Wow, you're persuaded so easily.
A.
Wait,
the
I
next
actually want
one,
to say
it's-
B.
Okay, let's put a B then. Vic, did you do that just for the memes or out of authenticity?
And I was just sitting here and I was thinking about it, and I just don't know why. I just don't feel like it is an A tier, so it's got to go to B.
Yeah, A tier is like okay.
Yeah,
This
I
is how.
agree with you.
Okay, I know we're kind of like a couple ranks in. S tier for me is always like 100%. It's always good. Like always, no matter what it is, it's like the best. A tier is like more often than not, this works. Maybe on the blue moon, it's not good. B tier, it's like most of the time it's good. Sometimes it has hiccups. For
But
me,
Vic,
B tier is like 50-50. C tier is like this isn't great nor bad. And then D tier is like we need to reevaluate our culture.
Vic, you don't like to go out to eat after church and then have that massive food coma for your naps?
Vic's kind of an introvert, isn't she?
Ambivert.
Herbivore?
I do. I don't know. I'm just feeling B. My gut says B. Sing it.
All right, B it is. This next one, it's going to be contentious. I wonder what are you guys going to think? So, statistically, one of the number one most Christian, I guess, American Christian traditions that a new believer participates in during the holiday season is caroling. Which, for those who don't know what caroling is like singing Christmas songs door to door to neighbors or at the church or to friends. So I'm gonna get your guys' initial reactions. What do you guys think? Because I have hard feelings on this.
D.
So don't. So my dad literally for years, and when I say years, I mean like 15 years, has been like every Christmas, like, let's go caroling, let's go caroling. We've all been like, no, that's weird, no, that's weird, no, that's weird. Well, finally, this last Christmas, we actually did it. And we went to just a senior apartment complex and caroled to them, and it was actually so fun because they all just loved it so much and they were all so happy and appreciative that it really just stirred up the Christmas spirit. And all the songs we were singing were like Christian, gospel infused songs. So I thought it was great.
If I saw
Okay, I'm
you
gonna give it a
guys,
hardliner.
if I saw you guys on my Ring camera, I wouldn't open the door.
That's so messed up.
Okay,
I want someone to carol at my house.
Well, you didn't give a ranking. What ranking is it? You can't just say a story and not give it a ranking.
I just like hearing your guys' rankings and then going off of that. Let's see. Caroling. I could see it being like a C or a B.
I think that's too generous. I think it's a straight D because
Oh my
it's very embarrassing, and I don't know. I feel like there's other ways you can evangelize than singing door to door. And
Juan,
I
did
feel
you
like
go with them
nobody.
to Carol?
I did,
Yes.
but like, okay, here's my thing. We went to a senior citizen complex, so technically they were thankful because like no one ever visits them. So
That's
getting
so
one
messed up.
visit in like maybe 6 months was probably like better than the bad music we were
And
singing.
isn't that what we're here for? Right? Doesn't the Bible talk about, the widow? Half of those people. Widows.
I say D tier, you guys. I know Tati's feeling D. She's about to pop off on that.
Yeah, I want to say D. I've been on both ends of singing and being sung to, and it's just awkward.
I want someone to sing to me.
Okay, Vic.
Tati, come to
Vic,
my house and sing to me.
time out. Vic, it's 2
Absolutely
D's
not.
and 1 C. What are you feeling?
I said it at the beginning, and I stick with my answer, D.
Sorry, Chris, you were outvoted.
Fine. At least it's not an F.
Crystal, just go on YouTube and look up some
If
videos.
there was an F on here, I would have
No.
said F.
No.
D is the F.
Nothing is terribly bad. Like, going caroling isn't the worst thing, and it's not counterintuitive. It's just, like, not the best thing. Anyways, the next one is attending a worship concert / worship festival like Passion or going on a retreat to kind of grow in the Word of God.
S tier.
I'm going to say S tier too, because literally the amount of fellowship and crazy, amazing memories you make for a lifetime is too much to count.
I feel like my favorite memories are in concerts, conferences, or doing any of those camping trips.
That's right, camping.
I agree.
Okay, that was really easy.
I
All right,
recommend
the
to
next thing is going on an apologetics binge, aka watching or reading The Case for Christ, looking at other materials like through Ray Comfort, just apologetics in general. What do you guys rank this?
I'm going to say A, personal opinion, because I think it's actually great and we're all called to have a defense for our faith. And what better way than to have it in easy, digestible, like little snippets like that movie and other things, because people have already kind of done the work for us. But also not S tier, because sometimes people can get a little lost in the details and not see the big picture of the gospel, and then maybe just have opinions that other people have but you don't have for yourself. But overall, all those people, inspirational and people to look up to, kind of how Paul says, imitate me and like the goodness, right, in our faith. And so I definitely think it's good to learn and digest those things.
I can support Crystal in that, so I'd put it in an A tier.
I'm between A and B, just because I do feel like sometimes people do overdo it and just focus more on the apologetics and not as much as like the scripture itself and application.
I'm in between as well. I kind of agree with you guys are saying. Crystal, I think actually what you said was beautifully well said. I'm going to say A just because I'm a huge big time learner, and I think that you grow in your faith and understanding of God, because I think something that people don't really like to admit to is that sometimes they have doubts of certain things when it comes to God. And I think people who don't try and dig at the whys end up just kind of like pushing it in a corner, but it doesn't resolve your doubt. Every doubt that I've ever had of the Lord that I've explored, I've received the righteous answer from God. So I'm gonna have to go with A. So I think in this one we're going A, guys. The next one is buying a ton of church merch. And this one is specifically that Amazon shirt that says he is risen with Jesus on it.
Hey, I think Christian merch, church merch is great because our pastor even said it last weekend, was that we're all representing something and we're all ambassadors of something. So might as well be an ambassador. Well, we are ambassadors of Christ everywhere we go, but how cool is it to do that through our clothing? I would say maybe a B, just because obviously it's not the most important thing in the world, but I do think it's a great way to start conversations. And our pastor was even saying that 3 people had asked him about what he was wearing. He got to invite them to church that weekend. So it really can be a conversation starter for people.
So we're agreeing for this one to be A, right? Or B? We said B, right?
B.
Okay, next one is using a Christian dating app, such as Christian Mingle, to try to find a significant other.
D, they suck.
D tier. Vic, your opinions?
I'll say C because it does work for some people. I'm very weary because you can get finessed. So I'll say C.
My D tier is because I think, okay, look, if people can put that they're like millionaires and they catfish people on Facebook, I'm pretty sure they're catfishing like Christians that they are Christian.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing with some of these apps is how sometimes people like prey on like your stereotypical Christian. So I would agree with D.
Okay, the next one is something we actually talked about is listening to a song that makes you cry like oceans.
S tier.
S tier, no debating that. Honestly, worship to the point where you cry is something special.
Not for the emotions of it, but really just for the impact. And when the words just like seep into your soul, that's just like such a beautiful thing.
Okay, these are for all the people who grew up Christian. It's Veggie Tales. How are we
S.
feeling that?
I love VeggieTales.
What's your guys' favorite Veggie Tales?
Lord of the Beans.
I love the Lord of the Beans.
Okay, flat confession, because I got saved at 16. I've never seen one fully.
I thought I showed you one.
We didn't finish it.
I
We
showed
just
you
watched
the
the
Lord
beginning.
of the Beans.
We only watched the beginning of the Lord of the Beans. Also, they're kind of spooky, so I'm gonna give it a B tier.
Spooky. They're so good.
I'd say A.
Okay, this one was kind of funny, but it's the traditional youth pastor fit. So for those of you who don't know what the youth pastor fit is, it's like wearing like a fedora hat almost, skinny jeans, the Chelsea boots, and like a leather jacket or like a flannel jacket, and always having an iPad in your hand.
D.
I'm going to say C because it's overplayed. And not cute anymore. I don't want to see no people with no skinny jeans anymore.
D.
Why are we
over it.
hating over here?
I want to say C. Honestly, I will admit, when we went to that worship concert once and everyone was dressing as a stereotypical Christian, I thought it was really funny.
Well, what's a stereotypical Christian in your guys' opinion looks like?
Just go to a worship concert.
When you're
and
like
you'll see.
45 and you're trying to look like
I
you're
like that
18.
challenge. Okay, that's a good one too. Like you're 45 and you're trying to look 18. Go to a worship concert. I like that challenge. Okay, the next one is newly formed believers statistically most likely first serve at the kids ministry. What do you guys think?
D tier. Serve where you're called. Don't just do kids ministry because it's there.
True, I think that's like not the smartest thing. I'm going to say B tier.
B.
Vic, you serve with kids.
Exactly.
Vic! Hopefully no one is watching.
The only reason I do that is because anytime a kid poops, Crystal will never change them.
I thought we had an agreement. You said I can do poop all day. I just can't do vomit or like snot. And I was like,
Crystal,
okay.
that was never an agreement I made with you. That was an agreement
Well,
I made with my
mentally made that
coworker.
agreement. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you want me to clean a dirty diaper, I will puke, and then you're gonna have to clean the puke. So what would you rather do?
Crystal, what are you gonna do when you have kids? You're gonna have to change a poopy
That's
diaper.
what's it called? I'll deal that when it gets there. What's that saying? Why am I?
So I'm going to
losing
average
it
this
right
out to
now?
C tier. Although I do think there should be more people in the youth ministry because
I
they
think
truly need it.
B. Fine, you can put it in C if you want. No, I think B. Fine, you can put it in C.
Okay, the next one is showcasing your art and talent in a Christian talent show or like a prayer night. We actually had one like this a couple days ago. It was like a slam poetry. But what do you guys think about this? Tati, your face is saying it all. You look like between a C and a D.
I want to say C. I feel like those can be cringy sometimes.
Ooh, yes, the cringe. I'm going to say C as well because C for cringe. No lie.
Here's the
Sometimes it's
thing.
really cringy.
Here's the thing. I have secondhand embarrassment really, really bad. So if anyone does anything, I have to evacuate the premises. Like, I have
Okay, to be
leave and
fair
come
though,
back.
this last one that we went to, none of them were cringy. Can you guys all
Honestly, it
admit?
was inspirational. When people do some spoken word, you're like, dang, that's fire. So I really enjoy it.
I'm going to say C for cringe.
Okay, fine.
The next one is listening to a podcast, getting connected to an informational podcast or group to grow in your faith as you're newly saved.
S tier, baby.
Listen.
Listen to the One of Us podcast.
I might be biased, but D. I'm joking. Put us in S. Definitely
That's
S.
like, dang, man.
Listen, going on walks in nature and listening to a podcast is just S tier. If you haven't done it, just full send it.
And it's such a great, yeah, I totally agree. I listen to podcasts while I drive, while I walk. It's just so therapeutic, and you're just like learning as if you're sitting with someone.
Okay, the next four, we're just going to do rapid fire. Not really rapid fire, but they're all kind of in the same realm in the top 50 things that new believers watch, say, or do. But these next four are kind of like the most watched spiritual movies or shows. So the first one up is called Facing the Giants by, I think, Alex Kendrick, one of the Kendrick brothers.
S.
Why S?
I watched this as a kid, and even as a kid, it had such a great impact on me. So
Don't give up! Keep going! Keep going! Keep
Whoa,
going!
don't spoil
Okay.
it for Tati. She's never seen it.
Crystal's not doing it justice, but just trust the process and put in S.
That part always like gives me the chills.
I can't, coach. I can't.
Okay, well now I have an idea of what this Hallmark Christian version of movies is
I'm going
about.
to say it's an S. I'm gonna say it's an
Hallmark
S.
Christian! Don't insult!
You'd like it, Tati.
You know, I'll
trust.
say this. That movie, it was so good. It like, you know, like when people say like, wow, can Hallmark ever be good? That movie was so good.
It's not a Hallmark movie, is it?
I
It's
said
like-
Hallmark like Christian
Guys,
movie.
I don't think it's
AKA
Hallmark, but
cheesy.
it has, I think it has Hallmarky acting.
That's what I mean. Like it sounds cheesy. and
Listen, that was back in
predictable.
the day when Christian movies had no budget.
All right, the next one is Courageous. Same kind of creator, a different story. I'm going to give this, if you guys gave, see, look, you guys gave Facing the Giants an S, which I thought was more of an A. So I have to give Courageous an S because Courageous has the biggest plot twist in the whole show.
I haven't
Or the
seen
whole
it, so
lineup.
I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I was
Wow.
gonna say I don't think I've seen this one either.
Why am I feeling
Oh
more
my
a B?
gosh. I feel like I need to watch these shows with Vic and Tati.
Yeah,
You said a B?
Well, here's my thing. First of all, I think we should do like another like watch party and watch these movies together. I think that would be fun. So
In the Discord, if you want to join.
yeah, it'll be our information will be in the description below. So follow us on Discord and then you can join us in our watch party. But I don't know. I don't know why this one wasn't as impactful for me. I really remember Fireproof and Facing the Giants, but Courageous, I don't really.
I think maybe
No.
because it's more of like you're a dad, so maybe it's more of a guy movie. But
Yeah,
for
maybe
me, it was
is
an
a guy
S.
movie. Can we put it in A then?
Okay, the next one is a rated R movie that most Christians would find acceptable, The Passion of the Christ. A lot of new believers tend to watch this movie within their first 6 months of accepting Jesus to understand the crucifixion of Christ.
S.
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm gonna
say
say
something.
D.
Oh.
Not because it's that it's
Hold
bad.
on.
It just makes me sad. It's too hard to watch.
Okay, that's actually
I think you shouldn't watch it.
That's such a heathenist thing to
I
say.
just feel like you shouldn't watch it so young in the faith. It's
Okay,
like
here's my thing.
very
I was gonna
hardcore.
say B, and I thought I was being a little too much by saying B, and then Juan said D. Only because I watched that movie when I was 13 years old, and it traumatized me for 3 days. I could not stop crying, and everyone was like, "Are you good, sis?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not good." So,
But
See, that's
here's
what I'm
the
saying.
viewer
thing.
It's
discretion
traumatizing.
advised.
Depends on everybody and what they're able to take. Because I know if I were to see that, I would actually.
You haven't
die
seen
inside.
it?
I'm not watching that.
No,
Here's the
it's
thing.
such a good
Let's
movie.
average it out to A.
Tati,
Let's
as
average it
an
out to A.
adult,
Hold on.
totally digestible. As a child, a little too much.
Crystal, I almost failed my biology class because I didn't want to touch a pig's heart because I felt like I was going to throw
But
up.
here's the
There's
thing.
no way I'm watching
This
that.
is so different because
It's not even that gory. It's just
not
like
gory.
it's not.
well, there is
there
gore, but it's not like Saw gory.
It's heavy
like,
in the sense that like you read it, but when you see it, it kind of changes your perspective. Like for me, I love watching it I can't watch it all the time. And honestly, I can't even watch it in one sitting because it is very heavy. So it usually takes me 3 or 4 days to watch it because it is heavy. But it puts things into perspective. Like this is what our Lord and Savior did for us.
Vic saying she wouldn't make it to the 39 lashes.
I'd be gone. But
Okay, well, this is why I can't watch it. Is
it's
because
so
it's like
beautiful though. It's so
it's
beautiful.
like you know
It
when
is
you
a really good
watch.
movie.
This is how I feel, Tati. This is why it's hard for me. It's like it's like if you watched a little kid get bullied and everyone was watching it with you and no one did anything.
No,
Or like if
that is
it's
nothing.
I know, but I'm saying
A
it's like
little
that
kid getting
feeling.
bullied. Come on.
I'm saying it's
Big
like
said-
that
beat
feeling.
up.
Big said,
It's
bring
the
back
feeling of-
bullying.
It's the feeling of innocency, right? It's like you see someone who's innocent and they're getting an injustice and you're just like, bro, that sucks.
But here's
like
the thing,
at the highest level you could imagine.
But here's the thing, it's true
Like another
when you
way-
think that you could have been one of those people doing it to him.
It's a
that was
necessary
epic.
watch, Tati. It's a necessary watch because
The Bible doesn't say so I'm fine.
it's in the Bible.
Truth.
They're literally speaking the Bible, which is really cool too.
It's just it's
Anyways, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna average this out to A. Is everyone
no
okay with
put
that?
S.
I think you need to put. I think A, Vic, because it's only for adults.
A for adults.
I'm gonna show my child at a young age. Be like, this is what Jesus did for you, so you better keep yourself together.
Don't traumatize the kid.
That's not trauma, that's just truth. Get it together.
All right, the next one is the Chosen TV series. So it's a common series made out of Dallas Jenkins in Texas and I think Utah. They kind of portray the life of Jesus in a more kind of like TV show, get more detail out.
Well, it's about the
per
disciples.
episode.
It's about the life of the disciples that isn't normally portrayed. For me, maybe I'm biased, S tier for me, just because it goes through so much of the New Testament from the very beginning of Jesus' ministry, actually before he even started his ministry, and they're going to end it post crucifixion and resurrection. So for me, I think it's very holistic. It's the first of its kind. I think it's good quality, and I think it's great for ministry. I've also used that with my family, and it also invokes a lot of emotion.
I'm gonna say A.
A.
I think it's the thing that I like about it. It's not Hallmark acting because I think everyone's kind of done with Hallmark acting in Christian spaces, so it's like a little refreshing that the acting is more like higher level.
Sorry, Hallmark, we still love you.
We do love Hallmark, but your acting, you need to up it up a little bit.
It's only valid for Christmas time.
That's right, when we want it choosy. Okay, the next one is going for a prayer walk. Going around either your school, your campus, your work, your church, and just praying over the space surrounding with your friends. I'm going to say A because this involves exercise and it's a good way to evangelize while you're doing it.
I think people are normally receptive. I remember when we used to do this around campus, like people were very receptive, or just walking around at a park or something. It is good to get out there and kind of step out in faith with other people. I would say an A or B.
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 Okay, the next one is participating and digesting Christian memes.
B.
I'm biased, but I want to say S.
Dang, I say B for the same reason as church merch. It's like some memes, they hit good, but other memes, questionable.
It is kind of 50-50, but the 50% that do hit is S tier.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm
So
going with
how do you
B.
quantify that?
I'm saying B.
Okay, what if we only focus on the good memes?
But there's also bad memes. That's like saying don't focus on the bad church merch.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so everyone cool with B? Okay, this next one you guys kind of talked about is memorizing John 3:16 as the first verse you memorize.
D.
Hello, I'm gonna go with a straight S tier.
I was going to say S.
The only reason I say D is because even when I wasn't a Christian, I already knew that verse. So if you have to memorize that, then I question.
Well, I guess your D is more so on your ability to but okay, I'll say this. I don't know if you see the picture down there, but I think John 3:16 is probably one of the most powerful verses ever. That's why it's so overplayed. Because if you could ever tell anyone anything, just John 3:16 is enough to share the gospel to them.
I mean, I think it's an amazing verse, but I don't know. I just also don't like cherry picking. I like to look at things in a bigger picture.
All right, we have an S and a D, so it's going to be averaged out between Crystal and Vic.
B.
Crystal?
I can get behind B.
All right, B it is, guys. Okay, next one is reading a really popular Christian book like C.S. Lewis' Mere Christianity or another third-party media book that really grows your faith.
S.
I think you can't go wrong with C.S. Lewis or Narnia. Shout out.
I love what they do with the books, especially C.S. Lewis. Like even Screwtape Letters. Like I love how he sets up the story where it's very creative. It's not hard to digest, but you're still learning and growing in your faith. So I'll say yes.
I say B.
I do agree with Tati that there could be a lot of weird books, like weird self-help books. I've read some self-help books thinking they were going to be great, and then it's just like the person talking, not necessarily anything scriptural about it. But this is why I say A, because I think way too often Christians run to third-party media over reading their Bible, and that's not a good substitute for the Bible.
That's what I was going to say, too. I rather read the Bible over another book.
Well, if we're saying C.S. Lewis, I'd say more S. If we're saying third-party media, third-party books in general, I'd say B. So maybe A.
I'm good with A. Okay, next one is kind of another Christian tradition, more of an American Christian tradition, but Easter egg hunting.
I'll say C. I think it's fun and it's great to get people involved and come to the church. But I mean, usually when you think of Easter egg hunting, you're not really thinking of how the fact that the Lord rose again. But I do like that churches use it as an opportunity to bring a bunch of people to the church and are able to evangelize through them in that way.
That was really well said, Victoria. I'm going to go with a C.
I agree with C.
Okay, the next one is during Thanksgiving or other serving events, serving at the food pantry to give back to the community.
I'd say A. I think it's a good way to basically serve your community and also fellowship at the same time.
Okay, the next one, you might know the guy by the picture. This guy's name is Cliff, but it's actually kind of watching Christian YouTube, aka Christian YouTubers, Christian podcasters, Christian evangelists, and kind of getting some sense of faith through them.
I would say A because I think it's the same concept. It's great to watch, it's great to learn. Specifically for Cliff, I love that he goes around on campuses and when people ask him questions, he's so well versed and so calm because sometimes people come and they're angry with him and he's just always so patient, always so gentle, ready to listen, but to give the truth in such a loving, kind way. And it really does soften people and they are really receptive. So I will say for him, he's amazing. But kind of the same thing we were talking about earlier with like books and stuff. You don't want it to be a substitute for reading your Bible or praying to God directly and stuff. So I think it's amazing. It's awesome. I love hearing other people's perspectives, but I would say A.
Okay, guys, we're rounding the corner here. The next one is journaling about your prayer, bringing a journal to church, and keeping notes.
I love looking back at my I love looking
Long
back at my
space.
old notes because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like I remember when I learned this, or sometimes it's like a good refresher.
That's the problem. Not everybody looks back at their notes. When's the last time you looked back at your notes, Vic? The Lord's watching.
Probably Thursday. Last Thursday? Wednesday or Thursday? It was last week.
Okay. So I'm going to give this a solid B tier because I think most people don't actually go back to their notes like they're saying.
Most people or you?
I don't as
Definitely
much as
me.
I want to, but I do learn better by taking notes at church and like looking at
Fine.
it.
I guess that's true scientifically. If you write down, you remember more. Okay, I'm going to go with B tier still. What are you guys thinking?
Level it up to an A tier.
Fine, A it is.
I want B.
I want B. I'm just kidding. I want A. Put it back.
It's too late. No, I want B.
Okay, this is the last one. A kind of shameless plug to our other video where we did a PowerPoint party to one another, but it's actually participating in group potlucks. So what do you guys think about this very last top traditional mainstream
It's
Christian
a D
thing?
if you invite Victoria. It's a D if you invite Victoria because she'll bring like some cookies from Walmart.
No, she makes
The-
those peanut butter balls.
No,
Yes, but she doesn't really do that for
pumpkin-
podcasts.
Pumpkin chocolate
I mean,
chip.
for podcasts. She doesn't really do that for potlucks, though.
I
She
ran out
usually
of
forgets
time.
about the potluck like an hour before and then remembers and drops away.
We need some people to bring dessert.
Otherwise,
Okay.
it's really good.
I'm going to say D also.
Vic, start bringing drinks. People always forget drinks.
No one ever brings desserts either. No one has a sweet tooth nowadays.
Vic, that's a straight cap. Okay, guys, I'm going to say this. Whenever you do a potluck, it's like
Or sometimes they
50%
bring bad
edible food
desserts,
and
like
50%
pie.
dessert.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's way more dessert. Everyone always gets dessert.
I'm gonna say B. I love food, but I do hate wasting food, and sometimes I feel like potlucks can be a waste of food.
Well, don't people
Can
just
we
take their
average
food
down
home?
to a C?
I can support a C.
I can support a C.
Why? Because you guys don't like preparing food to take to a potluck?
I
No,
enjoy
it's just
potlucks
like-
and eating together, but
Okay. Also this, like, let's say you're really good at cooking, you put a lot of, like, effort into it. You bring your food, that's like the only entree with the sea of sides and, like, store-bought cookies.
But what
that
if
people
it's
brought.
done well? Because I've been to potlucks where they will put like 3 entrees, 3 sides, 3 drinks, where they actually have to sign up for it.
I guess the ones that I've been a part of just haven't hit. So based off my anecdotal evidence, I'm gonna have to give it a straight C for cringe.
What about that one day I made a bunch of pork and Cuban sandwiches for y'all?
that was S tier. I agree with you, Tati. If it's more organized, it would be higher.
All right, guys. So there you have it. There is our finished tier list ranking of the top 30 mainstream traditional Christian events, things that people do recently saved. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. Maybe some things that we've missed. Obviously, this is kind of in an American culturized setting. So if you're somewhere around the world that you guys, that Christians do no matter what, just let us know in the comments or give us a DM. But without further ado, we're going to do our favorite topic, Tati's Hot Takes.
All right, guys. Do you think adults should participate in Easter egg hunts?
Well, let's clarify. What is inside the eggs?
What if some of it is candy and some of it is money?
If it's money, for sure, count me in.
Vic, I'm going to say no because it's for kids. That's the whole point. So
What are
if
kids
we're-
going to do with
children
money?
of
They don't
God?
have bills.
You're right, Tati. We are children of God, so maybe we should be
But
participating.
also, you could just make an adult one, but it would kind of get ugly. I can see people like wrestling on the ground, like hurting themselves, like flying through the air.
What if people hurt their knees?
The only one at risk for that right now is Crystal.
Literally. We have to cut
We
that
used to
out.
do this in college, though.
I think it's fun if you do it with a group
Top
of friends
team
and you put
wins.
funny prizes.
We used to go to Declan's house and do Easter egg hunts.
We did, and it was really fun because it was money and funny gifts. But I think if the church is putting it on, only kids. But if it's you and your friends, adults then. So I'm gonna say depends.
If it's people you know, imagine trying to fight some random adult.
Or a
It
5-year-old.
depends on how much money's in there. If there's like $100, I might throw down.
Okay, hear me out. This is a Mr. Beast video. Like it's like near Easter, and he's like, "We did an Easter egg hunt with $5 million," and like each egg had like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, see,
Man, I need to go to one of those.
I'd play that.
Vic, I feel like you, with your running ability, you'd only win maybe one egg.
You guys underestimate me. My running skills have improved. Also, Juan,
Is your running
you
skills
and
as
I
good
are
as
run
how
at
you
the
talk?
same speed.
Said who?
The facts.
Well, facts don't care about your feelings.
All right, everyone. That was a fun podcast, and I'm glad that you guys were able to listen to it. And if there's anything we missed or anything that needs to be added or you think we were wrong in some way, put it in the comments below. Let us know. But anyway, guys, we love you. Have an amazing, wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye.